met yet, I am founder of Rodeo for a Reason and the Stall High app. And I want to introduce some other people that are really important on my team. Let's start with Laurie Roth. Laurie is my right-hand woman at Stall High, and I'm really excited for her because in this past year, she's really started to pursue her dream of songwriting and just cut her first album in Nashville. So she's breaking into the country music scene, and everybody say hello to Laurie Roth.
Hello.
Hi,
Laurie. It's nice to meet all you guys. I'm really excited. I've, of course, watched Kendra's family. So she's my sister-in-law. I'm married to her brother. And I've watched her, do things through Rodeo for a Reason. And last year and this year, I'm really excited to be able to be a part of it. Just so you're aware, I am a cowgirl at heart, but I did not grow up with horses. I grew up loving horses. My dad would take me on trail rides and things from time to time, but I didn't grow up through rodeo. So really just in the last 5 years or so, I've learned a lot about rodeo. And so having watched the pageant and her working through Rodeo for a Reason, over the past, what is it? I maybe longer than that, like maybe 7-8 years. Yes, I've seen the impact that it can have. And I also love to share about faith and testimonies that have happened to me in my life. And if anything, like she said, if there's something that you have a challenge with, or that you may be having a rough patch or having a hard time getting through, I can assure you we have probably been there at some point. And my personal goal is to share my faith, and then also share things. If I can help you save time, like from going through a hard spot for a long time, and I can cut down, the struggle, the time of struggle, that's my goal. That's what I like to do.
So sometimes, girls, when you look at someone, let's take Laurie, for example. She is stunning. She's Miss, cover of the magazine. She's so beautiful, and she's so confident, and she always seems to know exactly what to say. And she's so professional when we're in meetings and meeting settings. She's real, but she's also real professional. And she's just very elegant. And I mean, you just look at someone like her and you're like, oh, she's so perfect. Oh, God. And life has just been so easy for her. But that's not really the case, right, Laurie?
Right.
Yeah.
Yep. So I grew up, my parents didn't have a lot. As I got older, middle school, high school, my dad got a better job and did better, but things are tight when I was a kid. And I remember I started babysitting when I was 12. And I would buy my own clothes. And if I wanted anything other than Suave shampoo and conditioner from Walmart, I used my babysitting money for that. And then I was a 80s and 90s kid. So if I wanted the Guess jeans or, the name brand stuff, it was on me, because they did not do that. So I tried really hard, just like everyone. You want to fit in. I went to a small school, had about, between 70 and 80 kids in my class. I went to the same school from kindergarten all the way through. And in middle school, I just had a real hard time. Felt like I had a stamp on my forehead that said, make fun of me. And the more people that are around, the better, So I had a hard time. And after going to the same school from kindergarten, in 9th grade, my dad got a potential job offer to move to another state. And, looking back now, it's kind of hard to imagine. A lot of kids at the same school, they're established, and it would be dreadful to have to relocate. But I was so just over getting made fun of so bad for everything from my hair to my clothes to my shoes to my feet. I mean, it's just, if I look back now and I think, oh my goodness, it was just so bad. But I was kind of broken down, and I was ready to go. I was ready to move to another state. And I was so upset when that fell through and we didn't do it. But I became friends with a girl in high school. We became best friends. And she was, personality wise, she was pretty much my polar opposite. And so between, having to go through the heartache of, hearing all these negative things said about you in front of groups of people and just get through that. And at the same time, just really striving to do well in, on my grades in sports. It took me 3 years, but I didn't give up. And I finally I made cheerleading, and then just kind of being with her. She was a tell it like it is kind of person. She was everything you can imagine in confidence, like the word confidence. She encompassed that. And she really helped me to stop caring what other people think, and unfortunately I was in and out of churches in high school and stuff. And I definitely, that helped me through going to youth groups and going to church with my friends and hearing messages. It definitely helped. But when you're in that moment, like during your teenage years, it's a really difficult time. I mean, you have peer pressure, you're thinking about what you're going to do with the rest of your life, and you've got this pressure to figure out what you're going to do. And then all of the things that happen on a day-to-day basis. So that my friend really helped me. And then as I got older, I went through some major struggles in my early 20s that really led me to the Lord, and just to turn to him. And it really took me into my 30s, just being out in the world and operating and, making ends meet, making things happen for me, for my kids. It took a lot of that, a lot of experience to get to the point where it does not matter what other people think. Like, if you are, you should be proud of who you are and stand up strong and hold those shoulders back. And, God made each one of us for a reason, with an individual purpose. Each of us is unique in our own ways. And surrounding yourself with like-minded people is also another thing that I would highly recommend. So between all of that, it took me well into my 30s. And so one of my goals now is to try to help share that story and shave that time off, like help you get to that point sooner rather than later. Right. So
good. Hey, I want to introduce our next coach. She's very important. You're going to want to get to know Shelly Hares, because she has been a big part of Rodeo for a reason. Since I started Stall High in 2020, it consumes a lot of my time. I don't compete on the professional circuit as much as I would like to. I don't have the time that I used to have to get on that Rodeo for a Reason page and talk about my faith or horses. And Shelly has really stepped up to the plate and filled that. And what we would like to do is equip the Rodeo for a Reason queens to use that platform to really become the face and the voice of Rodeo for a Reason. So, Shelly, what's on your heart today for these girls?
Okay, so as Kendra said, I am Shelly Hares, and it's not easy to go live. And when Kendra handed this over to me, so now this is the girl that has grew up in a small town, very small town. I graduated with 54 people, and I wear hearing aids, so I do not hear everything that goes on, and especially in a crowd. So I had learned to be in the background, not say much, and just watch. So when I hooked up with Kendra really pushed me to get out of my box. And one of the things was going live, and that has helped my growth so much in my spiritual walk. And I always pray before I do it. And I've been doing this for about 1.5 years, I believe, almost. And if you go back to the very first video I did till today, you will see a huge difference. And the reason I'm telling you girls is because one of the things I learned is always be yourself. And when you talk to anybody, or if you're on stage, people know if it's coming from the heart or not. And that is one thing that the lives have taught me is it's let me be myself on rodeo for a reason. I didn't have to pretend I was somebody, because all I did was share what was happening with me and my journey. And so I'm excited that we're going to put the Miss Rodeo for a Reason, Rodeo for a Reason together, so that I'm not, like there needs to be more faces on there. And I want to, it's a platform that we can share and grow and continue on. But all you have to do is just let it come from the heart. And the more time you do it, it does get easier and easier once you get first. But anyways.
So good. It's so good. That's so encouraging too. And you're right, Shelly, you have gotten better. I thought you started out amazing, because you're so real. You weren't trying to, you weren't trying to sound a certain way. It was just Shelly sharing her stories. And guys, when someone shares authentically, that's when it's most interesting. But when we get in our heads too much and we're nervous, that kind of gets in the way of us being ourselves. And I think we can become judgmental of ourselves and of each other. So instead, we wanted this pageant to be very uplifting